So, have any of you multi-pitch before? If you were multi-pitching and your person playing from the top and the person following you couldn't continue, what would you do in that situation?
Do we decide to go back down if he couldn't continue?
Yeah, so you want to go back down, but you're belaying someone up, right?
So we will have to lower him down.
Exactly, right? So to lower the person down, there's quite a few steps to go through because the issue with this belay device in guys mode like this, that it is good to take some slack, but it's not good to, it's auto-blocking, right? So it's not gonna feed and get lowered as well. There is actually a way that is specified by the manufacturers of the ATC to lower someone, and it's to use this small hole here, put a beaner inside of it, and then force the ATC open. Okay? The issue with this is that it happens before, it has happened, that it completely opened and the person plugged it into the ground. Alright? Which is not ideal. So this is like very low margin for error. If it goes wrong, it's going to go terribly wrong. Right? So we're not going to force open our ATC. Instead, we're going to learn a system to transfer the load to a Munter hitch to get the person loaded. Right? So let's put ourselves in situation. I'm belaying here. I'm in my anchor. I secure myself to my anchor. I put the climber on belay from the top, and my climber gap here is climbing. And then he tells me he cannot continue. Maybe he's injured. Maybe he cannot do the system, and he wants to go back down. All right. So this system here is a half system. With my hand on it, it's a full system. All right. So you always hold the brake strand, belay the person up, right? If I want to use both of my hands while doing the system, I need to complete the system as a full one. So I'm going to take my rope here, I'm going to build a catastrophe knot, right? So if this slips, the knot is going to hold my climber into position, right? So now I have a full system, half full system, I can take my hands off, right? So my next steps here is going to be to use my cordelette and press it, the rope with my cordelette. So, sick. Here, make sure it's nice and clean as well. Alright. So for the sake of this system, we're gonna do a why not. It is important in this step to not bring this prusik too far away from you. Because we're gonna transfer the load, we're gonna have to give some slack to the climber to transfer it. So if it's far away like this, it's gonna go even further after, and then we won't be able to reach it. So make sure that the prusik is nice in front of you and it's close. Right? Our next step here is gonna take another locking beaner, go to a master forks, and we're gonna do a Munter hitch. So our Munter hitch right now is in the upward position. So I'm taking it slack, right? But we wanted to put it in the downward position so that when we transfer it, it's already gonna be flipped the right way. We're then gonna tie our Munter hitch off, so that here, around our low 9, and go have it secure, right? Gonna offer the nurse. Now we're gonna count how many systems we have. One half, another half, another half. So we have 1.5 systems right now, okay? So our next step here is going to be to ratchet our ATC so that the load will be transferred on this carabiner, right? So we're gonna ratchet it. We're gonna transfer our load to this system right here. So we still have this in backup, it's still here, right? So we're still at 1.5. When doing this, in this instance, it didn't happen, but the gap was did like lowered a little bit, so it's good to let your climber know that you're about to lower him and that he might have a little bit of slack, right? So this instance, we want to take some of this slack out. You know what? I might even move this catastrophe not here. But if you do have question, go and talk. I should actually just ask. Okay. We're at transfer. All right. So at this point of the system, we have how many systems do we have? 5. 1.5. So I have one here with my ATC, another half here with my catastrophe knot, and this new one here with our munter that is blocked off on the cruise, right? So the step that we want to go through here is transfer the load from the ATC to this munter here. So we're going to ratchet our way through. We're going to let our climber know that he might receive a little bit of slack so that the cruise can handle it, right? So at this point, can I remove my catastrophe knot? Yes, we still have 1.5. Let's add another one further away, just in case, and just keep this one out so we have more rope to handle. Okay, so we're gonna take another locking gear, and we're gonna make our same system that we just did with our coordinates. We're gonna do our munter again. We're gonna identify our loading strand, and we're gonna make it in a downward position again, right? We're gonna go this way. We want it to feed this way, right? Let's keep this amount of rope reasonable because this is gonna go down all this slack, right? And we're gonna transfer. Let's pull it in, just like that, just like I have to do my munter. I'm gonna block my munter off. All right. Now, how many systems do we have? So let's count it. One system here, another system here, another one here, and we still have the catastrophe knot, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 systems, right? So we can do some cleaning right now. Yeah, let's do some cleaning. So we can remove this ATC off of our system. Just like that. Remove our ATC, and now our goal is going to be to transfer the load that is on this system on this one, right? So while I'm holding this line here, I am going to undo my cordelettes. Oh. Right? I'm gonna pull on this strand here, and the load is gonna transfer on my munter. It's already sleeping, so I'm gonna let my climber know you're gonna get some slack. You're gonna get lowered a little bit. So there we go. Right? Now I'm gonna slowly lower him until all the weight. Oh, see, it was getting far. Eh? See how far it went this time? Is now on my new munter. So now the load is completely transferred. Luckily, I'm still able to reach it. Right? So we're gonna then keep this Prusik in as a backup when I'm gonna be lowering. So now the load is transferred. I'm gonna block off my munter once more. That's on the cornlet. This one is blocked. Okay. Now I'm gonna be ready and able to lower my subject while keeping my hand on the line here. I'm gonna undo this first knot, and then the same thing is gonna happen. This time I'm gonna pull on it. I'm gonna let my climber know that I'm gonna start and lower him, and he might have a bit of slack. Right? So I'm pulling it. I'm pulling through the knot. Okay. Now we are ready to lower. Gab, I'm gonna lower you.
Okay.
And as I'm lowering and letting go of the strand, I'm gonna push this press stick with you, right? And this, I'm gonna act as a backup, so that if I let go of this, my press stick will back me up, right? And then with this, I'm gonna be able to lower Gab all the way to the ground. Then my system now is finished, and my climber is on the ground. All right. Do you have any questions?
Instead of like retying the blue cordlet,
Yes.
when you do the munter with your rope, can you actually make it like tighter so that you don't have to like retie that again?
I'm sorry. Like, so we passed from.
When you are yes.
We passed from this load transfer to this one here that is blocked off, right?
Are you saying like take some slack?
So when the blue one, when the cordlet was taking the load, you
Yeah.
were tying the munter.
Yeah.
Can you actually take more slack
Yes.
so that you don't have to retie that munter again?
More slack. Do you want to come here and show me what you mean? We can set it.
I'm not sure. I think she's saying from the beginning, like use the original munter to crank on it so that you don't have to do all the extra steps. You know what I mean?
No, I'm not sure.
You didn't bring another buddy.
They have thermals on their dad. I do have a shell in the. I don't know how Elizabeth's doing.
When you take this one, yeah.
So when this happens,
Well, my ATC would be here still at that time, right?
and you try to tie this,
Yes.
can you?
Cold or something? Yeah. What's in there? A sleeping bag.
Yes. So that is a good point. So the tightest it is like this. If you have enough, like you're tighter.
Because like if you make the tightest,
If you make the tightest, and now I transfer this load, watch my cruise stick. Remember the first time my cruise stick went pretty far, right? Because I had a lot of slack here. And now, since it is pretty tight here, my cruise stick isn't going very far this time because there's not as much rope in the system for the transfer. Right? When I did it, I had more rope in that transfer, so the cruise stick went down there. The less rope I have, the tighter it is when I do it, the less it's gonna go far. Okay?
okay, yeah. So no matter what, you have to retie this again.
Yeah, so you do want to retie this one just after so that we can back up our belay. If you want, absolutely want, it doesn't matter if you don't want to redo it, you could just do a muster as well. Sorry, a clove hitch. You just want to have something tied to your pressing as a backup, because realistically, something is going on. We're lowering someone. We don't want to make things get worse, right? Because you wouldn't necessarily need a backup when you're belaying someone. When we're belaying someone with ATC, we have no backup, right? But something is already going wrong. Let's add a safety precaution so that things won't escalate. Right? So this is the same.
Does it matter if that person is conscious or not?
No, if the person is not conscious, it's the only thing you can do at that point, right? You want to lower it, and hopefully you're lowering it to the ground and not to a station, because in that instance you are getting in trouble. That's when you have to contact social rescue. Right? Right. Let's practice those skills. Your guys will have to pair up in groups of 2. All right? And use the rope, and let's use the trad anchors that are already built.
Oh.
All right.
Running.
Okay, so he's fine. He can't make it and needs to be lowered down. So then, from here, attach a prusik here.
Yep.
And then attach it to the master board.
So you're on a half a system right now, since you're not holding this
right.
right.
Holding it, yes. Okay. So you can throw this in there.
Now he's again on a half system. So what do? Do a catastrophe knot, so
Right.
you can use both hands.
Do you need to clip that knot to anything or?
No.
So you tie it off, yeah, you're good. So just tie this one off around, yeah, not this strand, keep this strand out, around there, and in that point there.
Okay, need lots of loop.
So keep the weight on the system, please. So count how many systems you are at right now. How many halves?
1.5.
1.5. Perfect. Okay, you want to reach 2, so you can start building things out, right?
And then how did you attach this to that?
We do a mentor and tie it off.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Where are you at?
So this is all done. The winter
This is all done.
is
Okay.
locked off, and then I was gonna
Okay.
take some slack out here.
Yeah. There you go. Take some slack. Right. There you go. So now you are on how many systems?
I'm gonna read
So I got one. So I guess that's just one. Like 0.5.
Yeah.
And then technically
You're still on this.
true.
So now you have your slack that you need
Yeah.
to build your mentor that is gonna get lowered on. Right? So you've reached the slack that you're at right now.
Yeah.
Now build your mentor.
I just need this much.
You can take more. Right? And now add a beaner here and build your mentor that the load is gonna get transferred on.
So I've got it on the muncher.
Okay. So you see how there's a lot of rope here?
Yeah.
All this is gonna get stretched when you're gonna release this, and you won't have enough rope. It's gonna be down there. So with this mentor, let's kind of keep it. Yeah, let's flip this. Let's flip this.
Alright, 'cause
like
it's all
this.
gonna go to 10.
Is all gonna go to this one, right? So you want to keep this small. This is your loading strand. Now you tie off the motor. That is weird. Really good.
This
It should be all together in ideal, right? Oh. We're gonna actually check. Maybe it was okay. Yeah,
I
no.
think I just missed one strand.
It has to be paired, right? So it's in the lowering. This is. You have to put it in the lowering position, and then these two pairs inside the loop.
Okay.
It holds, and it's gonna slip a bit, but ideally it would be a bit better than that, but that's okay. Alright. So now, what do? How many systems do you have?
3.
3. That's half.
Oh, yeah.
Half, but then it's one.
That's 1 and a half, so I got 2.
You get 2 full systems. So now you can start cleaning. Yeah.
How far away it was.
Now, how many systems do you have?
Instead of doing that first, you saw
Yeah.
all the slack in your system. You could have undone your rope munter and just tightened
So
it
from
up.
here
and
I
you
can
tied it, right? And that way, when you lower the
let
blue
the
one,
slack
it
out
doesn't
of
go
this.
so
I want to transfer
Yeah.
the load to this.
Exactly.
That's all. Really, it's just
So-
something you just gotta practice with. Like even the way Gab or Jill showed you, I do it slightly differently. It's just personal preference and understanding how you think.
Yeah. Even like with the motor, like normally you just do it with like one rope, then it's
I
like
wanna
much more rope. It's like,
something
okay.
There's a lot going on.
You're good. So now you're gonna transfer it. You're gonna tell your timer.
Okay, you're gonna drop a little bit, Hill.
But what if you want to like lower yourself?
And you gotta separate yourself from the clove hitch.
But what if
Alright,
you want
there
to
you
do
go.
the
Your load is
motor
transferred.
with the lock off, so
And
you do have to
then-
like lower
But
yourself.
it's not ideal. It's not like it's not real, right? You would never.
We
Really
want to
do
keep
that.
this prosecute
But
here,
you
right?
are thinking.
So I can just change this into a clove hitch then.
Yeah.
If you're not fired.
What did you just blocked
I
it
just
off.
blocked it off again.
Okay.
Yeah, block it off again. So you can practice it.
Okay.
Alright, so to conclude this lesson, it's very important to know the limitations of these systems. So when would we use a system like that? Yeah, when would we use that? Yeah, so when you want to put someone back on the ground, right? So if we are several pitch high and our subject is unconscious, you won't be able to lower down and secure itself to the air. That's when you actually need to contact such a person. Otherwise, these skills are very important to learn and to practice for every climbing season, so that you put a less big strain on the local search and rescue teams.
Cool.
Good job, guys. Did pretty good.